Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Living to Learn. I want to thank you for taking the time out today to watch this video, and I hope that what I share with you today is going to be helpful, provide something that you can take away that's going to be usefully applied to your life. And if you know anyone who might benefit from this video, feel free to share it with them. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Also, before I get started, I want to point out in the description of this video, you're going to find my Instagram handle, which is @LiveToLearnCoaching. You can follow me there on Instagram. It's also a way for you to communicate with me if you have any questions regarding my life coaching services. Or you or someone you know has been considering a life coach, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. I'd love to hear from you. Second thing that you're going to find there in the description of the video is actually 3 links, 3 opportunities for you to donate financially to my channel. Now, for those of you that have already gifted me financially in the past, I want to thank you for that. And it really is something that is helpful, especially with the time, effort, preparation that it takes to make these videos. And for everyone watching, thank you for your support and your continued support. So let's get into today's video. I'm going to be following along the theme I have the whole week. We've been talking about self-worth. We've talked about different aspects. You know, why is it important to recognize your value, your worth, why we all have it, right? What kinds of things can be affected if we don't have a good understanding of our self-worth, if it's not positive, if it's not what it should be, right? What happens when we don't accept ourselves as we are? What happens when we don't love ourselves unconditionally? These are some of the topics I've touched on in previous videos. I encourage you to go check those out if you haven't already. But today I want to talk about another very important component of that formula, which is self-worth. Some people might say it goes hand in hand. And there's definitely some parallels there. And I'm not mad at that if you say it's the same thing. But we're going to be talking about self-love. More importantly, specifically nurturing self-love. Why is it important, right? Why do we need to nurture self-love? And first of all, let's talk about what does nurturing mean? What does the word nurture mean? Well, it's a verb. And according to the dictionary, it means care for and encourage care for and encourage the growth or development of. Okay? So, caring for, encouraging the developing of self-love. Why is this important? Let's talk about it. Well, first of all, self-love is very important when it comes to fostering a healthy relationship with oneself. Let's go back to the dictionary. What does the word foster mean? What does it mean? It means encourage or promote the development of something, typically something regarded as good. So you see the word nurture and the word foster, right? Fostering, encouraging, or promoting, you just add the ing there. They have some similarities, right? Now, when we're talking about the importance of self-love, we're talking about the importance of self-love in regard to fostering a healthy relationship with oneself. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about how important it is in regards to the rest of your life, in regards to the people, the places, the things in your life, how those things are affected based on the relationship that you and I have with ourselves? And although I don't, this is not a relationship channel. I mean, one day I would love to do a segment on relationships. I have some experience there. And I don't talk about, romance or anything like that. Again, I'm open to it, but usually only when it pertains to the subject at hand. But how can we have healthy relationships outside of ourselves, romantic or otherwise, with anyone else when we are lacking self-love in a healthy relationship with ourselves? When we don't have a healthy relationship with ourselves, just imagine how that's going to affect everything else around us. That's just food for thought. So self-love is important when it comes to fostering a healthy relationship with oneself, developing, encouraging a healthy relationship with ourselves. What are the benefits? I'm sure there are many. But 2 that stand out to me are confidence and resilience. When we love ourselves, those things automatically become increased. Now, what does increased confidence look like? Increased confidence looks like a lot of good things. Namely, being willing to take calculated risks, being willing to bet on yourself, being willing to try something different, try something new. That's what self-confidence does. right? Going back to relationships. Hey, if you want to talk to somebody, you want to meet someone new, believe me, that requires a lot of self-confidence. And when we don't have a healthy love for ourselves, that can affect that. Or even worse, it can maybe drive us to create this false confidence, which is really just a putting on a mask, right? And we don't need to put on masks. We're good as we are. We need to have that confidence. Also, it helps us increase resilience. I talked about resilience in a couple of my videos prior. In fact, a lot of things I'm going to talk about today, I've probably already touched on. But again, these are things that there's really nothing wrong with revisiting them from time to time. But resilience, and I explained this in my last video, resilience is just the ability to bounce back, right? And when we love ourselves, we increase our resilience automatically, because we know that if something doesn't go how we wanted it to, we tried something, we had a new job and it didn't work out, we tried a new direction, it didn't work out, we put ourselves out there and it didn't work out, quote unquote, because who even knows what that means? Maybe the lesson was for that to happen, maybe that was the working out, you never know. But resilience just means, okay, I can bounce back now, I can come back to square one and start over. It's very important that we have love for ourselves. Otherwise, we may see ourselves as the problem, like, well, it's because this or because that. I can't, I'm not good enough. We start to put ourselves down. Remember, negative self-talk is one of those things that we just have to rid ourselves of, right? We've got to do something with that. But again, 2 great benefits of self-love: increased confidence, increased resilience, okay? How do we practice this? People want to know, it's great to talk about this stuff, right? But how do I actually do this? I'm glad you asked. I don't know if you did, but I'm going to tell you. Here's some stuff. Now, there's 3 things. Now, 2 of them I'm going to just kind of summarize, not because they're not important, but because I've talked about these on other videos before. So, one is engaging in self-care activities. Okay, self-care activities, right? When we love, think of it this way. When you love someone, right? Let's say if you're a father, mother, or you're a spouse, you love your significant other. What do you do from time to time? You do nice things. You might go out and buy them their favorite green tea, or you might take them to the massage, down to Massage Envy or whatever, the massage place to get a good massage, or you go out on dates, right? Or your kids, you take your kids to the arcade, you take them to an amusement park, you take your kids to the beach, you take them to swim with their cousins just to have fun. It's because you care about them. You care about your relationship with them. Well, that's the same approach we have to take with ourselves. Okay, so self-care activities. Another one is celebrating personal achievements. I talked about this in a few of my last videos. Learn to celebrate yourself. Learn to celebrate yourself. Okay? It doesn't take much. Any win, any achievement, I don't care how small or insignificant you think it is, it isn't. It's something to celebrate, and it's something that's going to help you practice self-love. And remember, the more we practice at something, the better we become at it. But the third thing I really want to focus on is setting boundaries. I think that's one of the most important things that we can do just to make our lives better, but in particular to the subject at hand, self-love. To practice self-love, we absolutely have to set boundaries. That can look so many different ways. Perhaps there's someone in your life that when they are around or when you have to spend time with them, they just never contribute anything positive to you or to your life. I want to give you permission to be brave enough to set boundaries with that individual. Set boundaries with certain situations, certain things, right? Set boundaries with how you spend your time, right? I don't need to spend 3 hours on the phone, right? I need to give myself a half hour, then I need to spend another half hour reading a book or whatever it might look like, right? Set boundaries. But setting boundaries to me is one of the most important things that we can do to practice self-love. It shows us that we have a special place, we hold a special place, a special reverence and a love for the relationship that we have with ourselves. And that might sound funny, but I think it's very important, because remember, everything, the way I see the world, the way I respond, the way I interpret things, the way I communicate, everything goes through me. So I've got to have a healthy relationship with myself. So again, before I end, 2 benefits of self-love: increased confidence, increased resilience. Okay. What are some practical tips for practicing self-love? We talked about 3 of them. 1, engage in self-care activities. 2, celebrate personal achievements. And 3, and arguably for me the most important one, set boundaries. This is how we can practice self-love. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I really am passionate about putting out this content and helping other people. I hope this has been helpful to you. And again, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do so. Please hit the thumbs up button. Leave a comment. Leave a suggestion. Something that you felt like I should have added in today's video. Let me know. You hit the notification bell if you want to know when I upload a new video. And again, I would love to hear from you. Reach out to me on Instagram if you have any questions or you want to inquire about my services. But thank you once again for watching. I appreciate all of you. Have a great day.